Hello everyone. Really quick introduction, I'm Dominic Lorenzo, SVP of Products at Massive. Massive is a software company specializing in video-led consumer experiences. We have a team of over 400 people globally and work with partners in global sports and entertainment brands like WWE, World Wrestling, AT&T, DAZN, Bell Media, and many more. Our core product is Massive Access, which customers and even some competitors acknowledge is a global leader in terms of UX management for VOD and linear video apps. It's a really intuitive platform designed with usability of operator in mind to make it really easy for them to update the interface of their apps across all devices in real time without changing code. And complementing that is a suite of modern best of breed reference apps that are native in each environment and great for entertainment sports. And November last year, Massive was acquired by Delta Trade, the world's most trusted sports media technology company. And combined, we're now one of the largest independent providers of OTT technology in the world, with over 1,000 people and 19 offices. And that's a combined customer list. So on to the topic today. We're in an industry that moves really rapidly in regards to technology, content, and consumer expectation. And as customers demand better and better video experiences, operator ambition is growing rapidly to keep up and exceed those expectations. The focus of the operator has evolved a lot over the years. The first stage was about getting on as many devices as possible, capturing an audience as they're adopting a new technology, and really teams were focused on trying to figure out how to get video just to work on as many devices as possible and have a consistent experience. And businesses are really looking for partners who could help deliver everything end to end and solved all the unexpected technology challenges that arose. The second age was about trying to figure out how to monetize that audience, trying to determine which SVOD, AVOD, TVOD business models were commercially viable based on the audience appetite and content rights. Video experiences became more sophisticated during this age and more consistent across platforms. And technology decisions were really focused around better capturing and understanding audience data and improving the quality and delivery of the core video experience. We're now in the third age. Audiences are increasingly sophisticated and demanding. There's a lot more increased competition and financial accountability, which means operators have laser focus onto delivering measurable ROI through improving the customer acquisition and retention. Teams are moving away from slow build and rebuild cycles every few years towards iterative run and optimize cycles that push out updates regularly and evolve their stack over time. And businesses are working with trusted vendors who can help solve very specific problems that deliver measurable ROI. Earlier this year, we ran our own OTT consumer poll across the US and UK to measure kind of customer inputs into attributes of video services that are most important to them. And this is coming out in a new report we're publishing in the coming weeks called Where the Money is Going, the Future of Sports Entertainment. Unsurprisingly, the top three results are still video quality, contract lock-in, and universal access. More than ever, customers don't just want quality playback, they now demand it. And the Netflix video SLA for consumers is so high that consumers are completely unforgiving of any other service having buffering or playback issues. And anywhere, every time isn't just about the breadth of platforms you offer, but now it's about providing the most consistent user experience across all those platforms. If just one of your platforms languishes behind the other, and that is the one that the customer uses, like on front of their TV or at home or on the go, they'll view the product overall as unreliable because that's the app they're using day to day. For example, if resume playback works across some devices and then doesn't on others, or if buffering is inconsistent between different devices in the same home on the same network, or if you're watching the same video ad served over and over again on your app. These are all examples where if one app languishes behind, the customers are unforgiving. The rise of on-demand subscription services has driven a bit of a belief that live content is kind of shrinking, demand for it, but their view, it's a medium in which live content is delivered, it's changing. Delivery infrastructure, particularly with the advent of 5G, means that crystal clear, high quality broadcasts delivered over IP is a reality. Here are a few examples of some stats around the kind of growth in live linear OTT services that we and our new family at Delta Trade have seen across 2018. There is still a strong demand for live by consumers, especially around sports, news, reality TV, and marquee shows. Try and tell me that everyone here isn't going to be watching Game of Thrones live very soon. And for operators now about turning attention to the ways that they can capitalize on the opportunities of live broadcasts to deliver online and opening that up to them. Last year we held a private summit, innovation summit with 8 of the top the world's top sporting federations, who have begun to experiment with direct-to-consumer live and linear OTT offerings. And the potential for maximizing the fan experience through personalization was crystal clear. And these are some examples up here on screen, are just some of the areas in which live linear operators are investing right now in the fan experience. And there's a lot of matching consumer demand to these types of features. 6 out of 10 users we surveyed claim to want access to real-time information about the content they consume live through in-play stats and social media interactions. And 1/3 believe that things like VR are going to be commonplace and integral to the viewing experience by 2025. But deploying personalization at scale is hard, and deploying in a live environment is even more difficult when you're preparing for peaks and deal with issues in real time that arise. And that's why working with providers that have proven ability to deploy large-scale projects that work when millions of fans press go at the same time, and you can drive personalization, all of that is critical. And I think the other big thing is the competition for live eyeballs can come from really surprising places. Fortnite is currently the biggest, most profitable free video game with 250 million users. And back in January, Netflix made that quote there around, they're worried about kind of competition from things like games like Fortnite, more so than other streaming services. And then a month and a half ago, Fortnite hosted a one-off live music concert by DJ Marshmello, that guy. It was attended by 10.7 million concurrent users tuning in to watch a live music event inside a game. 10.7 million concurrents. For comparison, last year, the largest live stream event on YouTube was a quarter of that size, the Falcon Heavy rocket launch, which was 2.3 million. The largest live streaming event last year was an Indian cricket game that was watched by over 8.3 million concurrent fans. And even Fortnite's last concurrent event was about 8.3 million as well, when they watched, people joined in game to watch a purple cube, that kind of thing in the corner, break apart. So 10.7 million concurrents, what can we learn from that? Firstly, I'd have to argue that maybe DJ Marshmello is only 25% more entertaining than a cube. I have an 8-year-old who plays a lot of Fortnite and now loves DJ Marshmello, so I kind of agree. And secondly, across the broader entertainment industry, companies are learning how to really keep driving engagement and retention over time. And it's not so much now build it and they will come, but keep renovating or they will leave. And if competition for eyeballs is fierce, consumer demands are even fiercer. Consumers now expect you to delight them, driven by next generation experiences by the media giants that are iterating all the time. Less than a fifth of customers expect that the way they consume content today were the same in the next 3 years. With 5G, VR, AR, multi-angle viewing during sports games, and the technologies around those are going to have the greatest impact to the viewing experience. But what still shines through is how important personalization is for consumers. Targeting what they can see and touch based on their habits and behaviors in order to navigate the broad range of content available to them is still really important. It's not a nice to have, but a need to have. And taking a holistic approach opens up opportunities around getting fans into the funnel and keeping them there for longer. The definition of personalization is designing experiences that adapt to consumer need. I'm still amazed how many video services fail on some of those basic customer expectations and needs, like resuming playback consistently, or not chain playing the next episode when you're kind of binge watching, or not highlighting the live match corresponding to the team you've been following all season when you enter the page and they're playing now. Many stakeholders fall into the trap of thinking that recommendations equals personalizations. It doesn't. Recommendations is a really valuable form of personalization, but relying solely on recommendations can actually result in a really impersonal experience, especially if your content library is small or changes quickly or goes outside the typical boundaries of video. The majority of our customers often defer full content recommendations until secondary phases because it doesn't alone meet enough of those personalization needs of the consumer. On the recommendation side, making it more effective, one of the key trends today is moving beyond passive recommendations, the more like this, because you watch that, in towards active recommendations that push the next video or trailer to you immediately. There is a ton of data out there that shows and demonstrates that good UX increases conversion rates and retention rates of consumers and drives the bottom line. And the companies who regularly invest in good user experiences perform much better than their counterparts. Fixing your UX every few years is no longer enough. Regular investment to keep ahead of shifting trends and customer expectations is key. And this obviously results in budget and resource challenges for internal teams spread really thin across so many different priorities. And as such, there's now a very strong demand for specialized products and platforms like ours to help enable rapid iteration, experimentation, and personalization once you're in market. The old way to do things consumed a lot of engineering and operational time on local teams and activities. I still meet customers who have staff manually releasing app changes at midnight in person by pressing something to go live. And that's because they had a lack of control to schedule these things, to plan around those events during office hours. Often really small changes are abandoned due to the huge effort and time take to do that, outweighing the perceived value or priority or return. And which means consumers keep getting served bland, repetitive, static experiences that don't really change and are less engaging than the competition. And that's why there's a lot of tools out there exist to make it easier for operators to really control those experiences in real time. And it frees up the internal teams to focus on higher value activities that can support those like core business KPIs and drive further efficiencies. And to do that requires quality data, and technology can track that data across the different devices and bring it together. We see many customers having so many different analytics systems and customer management systems that capture different aspects of the consumer and have really struggled to bring that together. And if you can bring those data points together, then you can start actioning them within your user experience to make that target experience in-app and outside of app come together. Like do a Facebook or a social campaign, and for those users when they come into the app, see that messaging continue within the app experience. That's another reason why now there's so many different audience engagement tools out there trying to solve that data aggregation and normalization process. And also more importantly, generating insights and audience segments that can be actioned within the app experience. And by freeing up the internal teams from day-to-day UX changes and engineering changes, one of the biggest opportunities is for those internal teams to join those dots and consolidate that data and get the feedback loop happening so teams running the products, running the apps can do it in real time. This is just a little kind of case study for ours, favorite customer of ours, Telecine in Brazil. They're like the film division of their kind of Globosat, it's a big pay TV programmer. They need a really robust front-end solution that they could rapidly deploy and then manage once in market. They already had an unparalleled catalog, but it was hindered by kind of a very primitive and static user experience. As a result of integrating with Access, they saw a 75% increase in traffic in under 12 months, and real growth around the smart TV side especially, which went from kind of quite small to a significant part of their consumption. They now have a customer offering that's dynamic, personalized, and engaging, and their tech teams are freed up from a lot of the day-to-day cumbersome platform and app updates to really focus on further empowering those editorial and product teams to like realize their ambitions by feeding in the data across the other touch points they have in the organization to create more targeted and more relevant experiences. So to just bring it all together, there's a few kind of key things here. At the end of the day, the core video experience still has to just work every time. What is that? Essentially a high quality, clear video stream. Operators then need the tools to adapt to radically evolving customer expectations and to be able to do personalized experiences. Live and linear is still a core proponent to growth and differentiation, and extracting the right customer data is critical to inform and power that personalization and improve that experience over time. So that's it. Thank you very much. Cool. And any questions, feel free to grab me after this. Thank you.